What would WTF Grilling Week be without grilling something strange? Today we're going to take a look at a grilled mollusk that you may or may not have, but I doubt you've ever had it this way. So stay tuned, it's WTF. Today's sponsor is Draper's Barbecue, and you can check them out online at drapersbbq.com. Draper's makes a rub as well as a sauce that is the product of a lot of people working for a lot of time on sauce. In fact, their secret formula has been passed down for about 3 generations now, and it really hasn't changed much. It's been refined by the family a little bit, but they're sticking to traditions. The product is super delicious and it works really well on anything. You can put it on chicken, put it on ribs, you can put it on beef. It's really easy. You can put it on some sort of thing like a pork shoulder, throw it in your crock pot, and you're good to go. And of course, it's great for grilling week. So check them out online at drapersbbq.com and give their sauce a go next time you're out grilling. So today we are talking about oysters. Now, I know a lot of you have had oysters before, but I'm sure the majority of you have not had oysters. And I can understand why. They're unflattering to look at, they're unflattering to handle, they have a kind of strange texture that's pretty slippery, and all of those together can be kind of intimidating. However, there is something really delicious about them, and there's something that you can learn to appreciate the more you have. So what is an oyster exactly? Simply put, it is a bivalve mollusk that lives in the ocean. A what? Let's break it down. First, mollusk. A mollusk is an invertebrate animal that lives in the ocean. Invertebrate means it does not have vertebrae. A vertebrae is a spine. Jiggly wiggly spineless, yeah. The second word, bivalve, means bi, meaning two, and valve was the Latin word for leaf of a door. So basically they're referring to this idea of 2 doors coming together, bivalve. Taste-wise, oysters all vary, and you can go to your local fishmonger and ask him for an oyster that's slightly sweeter or slightly more briny. You can get bigger oysters, you can get smaller oysters, you can get ones that are a little bit more fatty. So depending on what you're going after, they'll be very different in their flavor. Very, very often you see oysters on the half shell, meaning that they are cracked open. They're cracked open fresh and served raw, sometimes on a bed of ice with a garnish of lemon that you can squeeze on top of the raw oyster, as well as some horseradish or maybe even some cocktail sauce. That is probably the most common preparation for oysters. You just take them, put whatever you want on them, and straight down. Another preparation is cooking them, and there are tons of ways that you can cook them. I've had them fried, I've had them baked, I've had them grilled. Hey, grilling. Haha. Health-wise, oysters are jam-packed with B12, zinc, and iron, and they are the healthiest when eaten live. Either way, they need to be cooked live or eaten live. If you have a dead oyster, you don't have food, you have garbage, and you should not eat a dead oyster. So how do you know if your oyster is alive or if it's dead? First indication is when you buy it, if it is open, it is dead, throw it away. Second indication, if you cook it while it is whole and intact and closed, and it doesn't open up, it was dead, throw it away. When you cook an oyster that has been closed to start, it will open up, and that is an indication that it was alive. Also, if you're shucking an oyster that was alive and you're going to eat it raw, it'll give you a bit of a fight when you try and get it open. That is also an indication that it is alive. Those oysters are safe to eat. Fun fact, one of the most classic preparations for an oyster is a dish called Oysters Rockefeller that comes from the oldest restaurant in America currently, Antoine's in New Orleans, Louisiana. The dish is oysters shucked open that get baked with a bunch of herbs and butter, similar to the preparation that we will be making today. So to start off with, we are going to go over how to shuck an oyster. You need some technology for this. You're going to need to get an oyster knife. I also recommend that you get a towel to wrap your oyster in. Some people open oysters in their hand. Unless you're a pro, I recommend you don't do this because you don't want to slip and have an oyster knife through your hand at your next backyard barbecue. First, place your oyster inside of a towel and wrap the towel around the top. Hold it by the towel. Then insert your knife into the back and slowly wiggle your way in, pushing on it with some pressure. Once you're in just a little bit, pivot your hand, to slightly pivot the knife a little bit counterclockwise. Now, slowly move your oyster knife around the shell, all the way around the end, and keep pivoting until the top shell starts to loosen from the bottom. You're going to then slide your knife in with the curved end facing up to release the mussel from the top shell. At this point, the shell should be removed very easily. Use your knife to remove any grit or grain or broken shell that might be remaining inside of the bottom portion. And then use your knife to scrape beneath the oyster to loosen it from the shell. The oyster should be loose enough to slide right down your gullet and into your tummy. Of course, you can put a little lemon juice on it for ultimate satisfaction. Today, we are going to grill the oysters because it's grilling week. In a bowl, add 1 chopped up shallot, 3 tablespoons of cubed butter at room temperature, some fresh chopped up parsley, a palmful of shredded pecorino romano cheese, 2 teaspoons of celery seed, a pinch of cayenne pepper, a pinch of paprika, and some thyme leaves. Using a fork, mash this all together, then roll it up into a little ball and place one on each of your oysters. Cook each oyster on your grill for about 5 minutes or until they're bubbly, some of the liquid has evaporated, and most of the cheese is melty. Eat off the half shell and enjoy. So that is a killer presentation and preparation for oysters. Even your most oyster-phobic friends are going to love this dish and be slurping down every one, so be sure to ration properly, otherwise no oysters for you. Tune in tomorrow for another What's Dish Food. Be sure to check out drapersbbq.com for their awesome rubs and sauces. If you have something you want me to cover, you can post it in the comments below or find us on Facebook, danieldelaney.com/Facebook. I will see you tomorrow.